Dr. Lonny here with another great episode from Good Sense Soap Co. Today we're going to start making a logo soap for Green Beard Grooming. Contacted each other, decided on a collaboration for a logo soap that they're interested in that they could potentially sell on Amazon. So very excited about that. I've been following Green Beard Grooming for a long time. He's based here in Tennessee and has an excellent product. Makes mustache wax and different grooming products for both the beard and the mustache. So, great company, great product, great guy to work with, and I'm excited about this collaboration. So, to begin, I will send a PDF of the logo. Well, if you've seen my earlier videos, you know that in order to create a logo into a 3D model for soap making, we begin with Inkscape, software particle Inkscape. And in order for Inkscape to create an SVG file that then goes into Tinkercad, we need a JPEG, a PNG file, which a PDF file is not. So in order to achieve that, let me show you what I did. So I opened up the PDF, and from there, I decided to take a screen image. So when I do that, it asks me to highlight the area of the screen on the cup. So I just select logo, and voila, it creates a PNG file. So from there, we're going to load that PNG file into Inkscape. So let's look at that as the next step. So we've opened up Inkscape, and as you can see, I've imported the PNG file that we created through the screen image of the PDF file logo. And so here it is. We used trace bitmap to image that file. So if I reselect it, we can show that to you. There we go. And we apply that, and then we go to export. I like to choose export selected only for that logo, and then I create a logo file path for that, and I saved it as a. You want to save it as an SVG file, and we'll call it Green Beard Grooming logo. As you can see, I already have one there. We'll create a second. All right, so that's saved. And then with that SVG file, now we can load it into Tinkercad and begin the modeling process. So we'll go there next. So now we're in Tinkercad, and this is where all the heavy lifting is done in terms of building the 3D model to begin making a soap model. So to do this, we previously saved the Green Beard Grooming logo as an SVG file. So we're going to go ahead and import that from my logo files directly. See it, import it. All right, so that is the logo. And its standard default is 10 millimeters. I have it set as inches right now. Let's not change that coverage. So we're going to apply that logo to a soap bar mold. So I'm going to go ahead and import that to my 3D and soap model directory. And I have a file standard soap. And the reason why I don't, I like to keep it on inches for this portion of uh, the model making is because I like to check the dimensions to see if this is a good size bar. And I think it is. So we're going to go ahead and convert the dimensions back to millimeters, which is what the 3D printer likes. So let's start the process. So we have now this box here is made up of two different models that I made. It's made up of a square with rounded edges and a box that I made, which is basically hollowing out so if I took a box here like this, say I made column. Let's go ahead and just do this. I'm not sure I've done this in prior videos, so let me just show you how to do this. So let's say I just take a box like that, and then let's duplicate it, and then let's shrink it. Maybe like that. Let's make it into a hole, and then let's select both the hole and the first box, and let's align them. And then let's take that whole box and let's just lift it 2 millimeters like that. Now let's select both of them and let's combine them. And so you can see what we have now is we have a box. So that's how this box was created. And then what I simply did um, is I took a rounded box. I don't think it's the same tool, but for this purpose, we'll go ahead and do this. And let's just give it some dimensions here. And let's lift it up 1 millimeter. Because you want it to embed in the base of this box. Let's give it a different color, just so that we can see the differences. And let's move it into this box. Now let's shrink it down a little bit. Let's go ahead and center it. See the differences. So you can see that we have equivalent of a soap bar in a box. And then if I combine those, oh yeah, something that looks like that, right? So let's go ahead and delete that. Let's go back to so far. The only difference in what I have here is that I have these rounded edges, be a little more soap bar-like. So let's start with that. Let's go ahead and raise this up. And we're gonna put this logo into this bar of soap. Obviously the logo is too big, so let's go ahead and shrink it down. And we want these dimensions to be about the same. So let's just start with 45 by 45. That in there. A little big. Let's go ahead and shrink that down some more. I think what I'm going to do is actually, well, we'll keep this the same. So let's get that centered. Except, all right. Now, we don't need this to be this deep. So what I like to use is about four millimeters. And then we'll create that as a hole. And then we just go ahead and sink it down in there. Like that. And then we combine them. And we have our logo soap. So the next step is to save this and import it into Cura. So let's go ahead and do that. And so I'll just select that. We'll do export as an STL because that's the input to Cura, which is our slicer software for the 3D printing. I'm going to put that in my 3D directory and we're going to call it GBG. So all in box. All right, so let's go ahead and move on over to Cura for the next step. We're now in Cura, which is our slicer software for our 3D printer. I'm going to go ahead and turn on the 3D printer. So you're going to start hearing it hum. And we're going to go ahead and import or open the STL file that we just created in the 3D directory. So here we go. This is our green beard grooming logo. So see it there. And there's really nothing more I need to do with it in Cura other than slice it. So I'm going to give it the dimensions and we're going to tell it the quality of print. I like to do a super quality print for a final soap mold. So we'll just go ahead and select that. And I don't need a brim for this because it's pretty stable, but I will do a skirt. And I think everything else is the way that I need it. So I'll go ahead and slice that. Just under 3.5 hours. Go ahead and get that started. I'll track my progress here. I'll take a couple video shots of the model as it progresses on the 3D printer. So stay tuned and looking forward to the final results, which will end up in a soap pour, and we'll actually see how the soap looks with this logo in it. And if you can, like and subscribe to this channel, that'd be greatly appreciated. Take care. So for the silicone mold, this is just one brand that I purchased last year and put a couple pumps in there, and we're going to go ahead and mix that up into a cup, stir it up for a few minutes, and then pour it into the molds. I'll put links to silicone rubber in the post. This is 20A. That's I prefer a 30 or 35A strength silicone rubber, but this will do just fine. So hang tight for the actual pour. All right, so we've mixed parts in A and B together for a couple of minutes. We're just going to go ahead and pour them in the molds. Get it up near the top. And those bubbles there, they will
smooth out. I believe the term that they use is degaussing. Hopefully I mixed up enough. If not, this takes about 45 minutes to an hour to actually set. So you can always mix up some more and add it. It doesn't necessarily need to get to the very top, just far enough above the top of that soap model to give it a good bottom when you pour the soap. And I think that should do. All right, so now we're gonna let it set for a few hours and we'll demold it and pour some soap. Be right back. All right, so the silicone rubber has set up and now it's time to demold these to reveal the soap mold, and then it's time to pour soap. So let's see how they turned out. And here is the demolded 3D model. Turned out perfect. Now this black stuff in the silicone, that's due to filament stringing that occurred in the 3D printer. It doesn't affect the soap pour because that's actually embedded in the silicone. But what it does mean is I need to clean out my 3D printer nozzle. So I'll be doing another video just for that purpose here soon. But the next step here is to pour some white soap in the base there and just up to the top of the embossed portions of the logo, and then we're going to pour black soap behind that. So that's coming up next. Okay, so I've poured the white soap, as you can see, and let that set up, and then we'll wipe it down to the top of the embossed portion of the logos, and then add another layer of colored soap behind that, which will show in the front side of the soap. So stay tuned. Okay, so we've wiped it down to get those edges exposed, and we've made up some green melt and pour soap using moss green, and I've added to that forest pine from P&J along with some balsam fir from Midwest, and it smells amazing. So we've gotten the melt and pour down to it's really cool in there, so it's really nice. And we're going to put some isopropyl in there just to help with adhesion. Go ahead and pour that in there. Man, that smells great. All right, we'll let that set up, and let's see, put a little more isopropyl on the top there, get those bubbles out of there, and we'll be back with the results. Stay tuned. So here's the result. So a couple things to improve on. You can see where the lettering, the soap tends to come out of the fine areas, the middle of the P, the A, and so forth. So I think may need to use a different font potentially for those. Also, the mouth in the logo is somewhat fragile, so that may also need to be improved. But overall, this is a very nice soap. And then if we look at the other soap, it actually came out really nice. So the simpler, the better when it comes to logo soaps, I've found. And this was just about perfect. So we'll show it to the client, see what he thinks, and we'll take it another step from there. But thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.